So Kim was really very nice and shared this technique. Hers was much nicer. I was not happy with my colors. So instead of trashing it or scrapping it, what I noticed that is on the side, it had kind of a neat little delineation there. Here you can tell I kept one scrap, and there you could see where I stacked it. And so I said, I know, I'm just going to make a stack. And it has this wonderful fabric stitching quality to it. See, it was stacking that.
Wow.
And so I was able to use that in my jewelry pieces. By doing that, there's a little bit a different technique. Or I took it another step further where then I had just the scrap left. And so, again, bright garish scrap that I did not appreciate. And I layered it with this thin sheet of granite backed by black and cut through it in
What sort of tool are you using to cut
so,
them?
This is a really, really tiny V gouge. Yeah. So that was part of the issue. I was trying to carve, and it was so thin that when I ran it through the pasta machine, it just kind of closed back off.
So you don't get the orange under there.
Right, so it was barely, but so then for this piece, I ran it through again and gouged some more, and then ran it through again and gouged some more. And so that's how I got these things that are just really stretching out where you can see the color bleeding through.
Yeah.
And then I redid it after looking at Dell's Makumigani. She had done something very similar, evidently, and she carved through it, but then she stretched it. She pulled it open with your hand a little bit, and then ran it through, and I got this, which I'm much happier. Granite that I use is just a half and half combination of the Primo white and the Primo gray granite. So,
which is mostly translucent, right?
Correct, right. Since the white is so opaque, it still leaves a great opacity.
So
that's half and half.
Half white, half granite gives you this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
They have white granite and they have gray granite. It's the gray granite that's more effective. The white granite is odd. It's got some
sparkle.
Sparkle, yeah. Okay. I put my thin sheet of black with the white granite on top, like this little guy, and carve through it. So now we want to start pulling them apart a little bit to expose that underneath scrap before I run it through the pasta machine. See here, you can see some of that underneath scrap. If I didn't do this, the white layer is thick enough that it will just close back on itself. It will bury the seam. Okay. And so what I think I'll do is I'll roll it.
Back this?
I will back it, absolutely. What I do is just kind of laminate it. So, oh, look, see that? So now I feel confident that it will stay together where I can stretch it this way some more on a backing sheet. So I'll put it on a little bit more black, just a thin layer. Number 5 or 6, just so that you have support to help it stay together. The thickness of the backing that you choose to put on will ultimately depend on your finished product, whatever you choose to do with it. Right? I was just playing, and I decided that I really liked my forest. Yeah. Where I'm headed from here, I haven't a clue. I love that, but it could be, we could do it on a larger scale and make art, framed art or something would be really nice. So there it is.
Oh, all right.
There it is. Start cutting from the other direction. See, so it starts to look like birch trees. And then I can just kind of paste that one next to the other one.
Zig and zag.
Yeah. I'm going to cut from the front like I'm used to. See what I'm doing. something.
And then
Just want to make sure that it's adhered to the backing before you run it through the pasta machine, because you know how they just get wonky. So here we go. I've got a bit of birch. When I run it through the pasta machine, see, it's already kind of looking like a stand, but this is too regular. I did not mean for that to happen. I should have been flipping it. And it gets squished a bit. So on the first one that you see, I squished it all the way almost, but then came back and put some to keep the dimension. So it looks like some are recessed in the forest and some are more forward. And I had a stand of birch trees.
Cool.
So this is,
use that as your center element.
right. See, I had this and I said, well, I can't visualize that as anything about it except a whole forest. And then I had just a little strip of the three. And I said, oh, I can see that as the center element. So this is the birch as the center element. I textured it a bit with the edge of the knife. This little strip was the initial scrap that we did the birch on top of.
Mm-hmm.
This was the birch before we cut it up, and I also textured it a bit.
Yeah.
And this is the side of the scrap that is
Oh,
just,
the
this,
black.
the black texture is a Macon's texture sheet. It's amazing how many people will ask me that. They think that I painstakingly cut that or create it, and it is this Macon's texture sheet.
Oh,